a shocking report has just come out from manager Carlos Mendoza. Should David Stearns be concerned about Sean Manaea suffering a setback while ramping up from his oblique injury? We're going to get discussing on what the issue is and what this means for their rotation going forward. Plus, Kodai Senga struggled in his first start with the Mets. We're going to get into what he had to say about it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into this new edition of Mets Digest with your host, Michael DeAngelo. As you see on the screen, wet hair, don't care. Good morning, everyone. Before I get started, make sure you guys subscribe down below. I'm trying to hit 4,000 so that I can do a big giveaway for you guys. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends, tell your family that this is their one-stop shop for everything New York Mets baseball. Anything roster news, trade updates, trade rumors, injuries, discussions, debates, all of that right here. I put it all here in one spot for you. So hit that subscribe button. Let's get started. So Sean Manaea, while ramping back up, he suffered an oblique strain during spring training, and it seemed like that he would be only out for the first 10 to 15 days of the season. Well, that is no longer the case. Wrong image, of course. What else is new? So he's been shut. He's now, according to Carlos Mendoza, at a press conference saying that he's been shut down from throwing for 2 weeks after experiencing oblique discomfort. Now, during this press conference, he said that, he got an MRI and that it revealed inflammation in his oblique once again, and that they're going to shut him down for 2 weeks and then have to pretty much restart and ramp him back up all over again. Now, this is really some shocking news because we really thought that Sean Manaea would be joining us soon and that the Mets rotation would be back to full health in no time at all. Pretty much Frankie Montas would be the only key Mets starter that would be injured from then on. That is not the case anymore. Like I said before, I said this in a previous video before when Sean first got injured. You can't take these oblique injuries lightly. You have to be very, very careful with them because they can linger for a very long time and can harm a player for a very long time. They do not go away. Oblique strains do not go away easily. So I don't want to say it, but this could be a situation where, he could be playing hurt. He could be dealing with this all year long. And there might be certain stretches and certain points where we don't know if he's really dealing with pain or not. If he's struggling throughout the season and he's putting up bad starts, I would love to blame it on this, but yeah. So just a fair warning to you guys. Whenever he is to return, it could be an injury that lingers around for a while. You don't want to take these lightly. So now the pitching rotation still remains with a couple of questions. We've seen Griffin Canning out there putting up some decent numbers. Tyler McGill has had a decent start too. So, when Sean Manaea comes back, someone is getting bumped. We don't know who it is yet. My thought is that it would be either one of those two, Griffin Canning or Tyler McGill. I can't tell you at this point. But with that being said, should David Stearns be concerned about the rotation at all? I think at this point, no, and he's not. He's not going to reach out to any teams and try and get a trade for some, starting pitching help at this point in time, especially since he built up so much depth, through signing free agents, signing veteran pitcher free agents. Clay Holmes, who in his first start on opening day only made it to 5 innings and gave up a few runs. It was not the best showing from him, but hey, it's his first major league start in several years. So what we have to worry about at this point is just how healthy this pitching staff is going to end up being. And if it's not, then some changes might have to be made once the trade deadline comes. But for right now, I don't think any David Stearns or Carlos Mendoza is going to be panicking about this rotation, especially with the amount of bullpen depth that they have on fleet as well. But at the same time, you look down at the minor leagues, Brandon Sproat is still sitting there in AAA. I'm sure at this point he is going to be called up at some point this year. Besides from that, not many of your top prospects are pitchers. Nolan McLean sits at around number 12 for them, and Jonah Tong, who sits at a little below that, is only in Double A. So there's a lot of young talent that we're looking to be futures of this team that are just not ready yet. So we're really going to have to lean on these guys who are up in the majors already on these big contracts to get healthy and get in some sort of rhythm soon, because the pitching has to get nailed down because the bats are still ramping up as well. We know Francisco Lindor is going to struggle. We know even no matter what these torpedo bats are, what the craze with them is, and I would love to debate with people about this, but MLB has already deemed it legal, and we get to move on from it. Francisco Lindor has been using torpedo bat models for several months now, and no one said anything. So don't be biased just because the Yankees were the ones that started using them in the regular season. Everyone was using them before. It was just a prototype type of deal, but now it's a full-fledged thing. Francisco Lindor has his own model, and hopefully guys are going to take a little bit to maybe get used to this model bat, especially since the handle is so thin now. So, I feel like a few bats are going to struggle at this point in time. We see Mark Vientos not get off to a great start either. Francisco Lindor just got his first hit of the season last night, and it was just a little ground ball base hit up the middle. But in regards to the rotation and, in regards to the loss last night, Kodai Senga went up on the presser. He gave up a few runs, and the Mets only countered with 2 runs. And what he had to say about the support of his team, he said, "Since the day I signed with the team, Lindor has always been there. Not just me, but the whole team. When he makes a mistake, I need to be there to pick him up. It was my fault to make his errors be highlighted because of my poor performance." So on top of Francisco Lindor not hitting good, Lindor also committed 2 errors last night. So it's been a little bit of a slow start for the boys, and it takes a little bit to focus up and really lock in on the season, and that's what we're witnessing right now. And Kodai Senga, that was his first start since when? Like September or November, or not November, excuse me. It was late August or September was his last start against the Atlanta Braves, where he only went a few innings and then ended up re-injuring his calf or straining his calf while walking off the mound. So don't freak out over this. It's his first start back. He's got to get dialed in as well. And I think we will see him back up into full-fledged form soon, because he has a $15 million option after this year that I'm sure he would end up declining if he had a good season, so that he can re-sign and get paid much more money. But in regards to that is all I have for you guys here today. Screw that intro video. Make sure you guys subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Subscribe. I want to do my giveaway.